Alrighty, so we're recording. So the question of the week this week was how to share the program. On the line, I've got Tennille, who is a business savvy stay-at-home mum who's just gone Crystal Executive in the last couple of weeks. And on the other side of them, you've got the Lovies, Love by Name, Love by Nature, Rhea and Rob. Rob's a landscaper, Rhea's a school teacher, and they did the same. They went Crystal Executive, and they've shown an ability to be able to share the program with others. So we thought we'd get these guys on board to just share how they go about it. So starting with Tennille, why did you share the program in the first place?
Well, I originally joined for the business side of ISA. So that's the reason that I jumped on board. So I always had the intention of sharing, but initially for me, because I was a new mum of a 6-week-old baby, I actually couldn't do the full program myself. So I had to share with my husband initially, and to make sure that basically the program worked. The Loves had obviously told me amazing things about it, but until I had 100% belief and confidence that the program was 100% legit, I didn't feel that I could authentically share with people. So I'd lost weight myself with the program, and then seeing my husband in his sort of first 30 days drop a substantial amount of weight, jumping out of bed in the morning, everything that people were saying was happening. So then I felt that I was able to share from there, and I just wanted people to sort of get some of the same results that we were getting, as well as being able to obviously grow my business at the same time.
Yeah, cool. So you started for the business, which is, the 20% of people that generally start, and then you got a really good result with your husband, and that gave you authenticity to then go and share it. So being a product of the product sounds like the key sort of building block for you there. Thanks for that.
Yeah, exactly.
What about Lovies? What about you guys? Why did you start sharing in the first place?
Why did we start sharing in the first place? Well, Lovey and I were introduced by Sarah Blacker, and we actually had, the opportunity to learn about the program and the business at Celebration before we even tried the program. So we were definitely going into it because we were, we ate healthy and organic where we could anyway. We also felt like there was something more to life than just working our 9-to-5 jobs. So, we were excited to share that opportunity with other people. We didn't know that there was another way, and, we felt really privileged to have been introduced to it. So, it came from a really, it honestly came from a really authentic place of sharing something that we just believed in wholeheartedly.
And basically what Tennille touched on with being, or you did with being a product of the product, we, being so healthy as we were, we noticed huge differences in our sleep and energy, and a little bit of weight loss and lean muscle as well. So, organically we couldn't help sharing it. We were getting out of bed and basically wanting to tell the world. So, and people came to us as well. They sort of saw the results from two people that were already, people didn't think could get healthier, and we were obviously a lot healthier, so it was quite easy for us.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, Lovey. So I guess a key thing from you guys is, and something that I've seen as well, is that if you want to share it, you really got to do the program properly and feel it, because otherwise, if you're not feeling it, you're not getting the results. Then it's very hard to share something that you don't necessarily believe in. It's sort of inauthentic. So I guess that's sort of what I took away from that. Would you agree that that's sort of a space that most people should start from if they want to share it?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. So last question. I'm just going to go back to you, Tennille. So you had a massive shift in the last 2 months. Like, you just went bananas and just started sharing it with a bucket load of people. So what I wanted to find out from you was how you started sharing the program. Obviously we know how you started, but what challenges you found early on, and then what shifted to allow you to do what you did in the last 2 months?
Yeah, so I initially sort of started, and this is probably maybe helps to answer some of the other questions. So I just sort of did it all over Facebook initially, just consistently posting over Facebook. So I was always sort of, just posting something, and it was either about working from home and never mentioning ISA, and just sort of building that level of intrigue over social media. And then people were obviously just naturally wondering what I was up to and inquiring, and doing those sorts of things. And then from there, I had some people that were interested, jumped on board. But the move probably came. Well, I sort of had a big influx initially, and it was just through doing some more training, listening to some more calls. The Loves would probably agree as well, that just making sure that people had the best 30-day experience. So we're now just making sure that we're touching base with people like every single day for at least the first sort of 4 or 5 days, to make sure that they're having headaches, anything along those lines. We're helping with that, letting them know that it's normal. And also we're just really making a point of it right from the start, from their welcome call, of letting them know that they can get a $370 rebate. And that's where I think the shift's been in the last 2 months. Initially, we're sort of getting them to draw out U+2, then +2, but changing our language to now just going, hey, you've on a President's Pack, it's cost you $570. We can get you back $370 in the first month. Let's do that. How can we? Hi. Do you want to say hi? Yeah. Hi. Just woke up. We've just moved our language, and people are like, well, hey. People always want to get money back, and I'm like, well, who do you know? And I know you hear that all the time. You hear the millionaires going, oh, who do you know? But it could initially just be a husband, a friend, a girlfriend. They don't need to think, 100 people necessarily straight away, but just sharing with those 2 people just to get them that rebate back. And that's sort of where the shift is in our language has happened, and the shift in our business, I think.
Okay, so a shift in language, rather than talking about U+2, then +2, you talked about what it actually meant for them, which was getting a rebate and the cost of their program, and then simply just asking the question, who do you know? And then following that up and helping them run that process. It's awesome.
And pretty much just just letting them know they don't have to know anything. Like, they don't have to know. They're brand new. Just find people who are interested, as we say, like, want to lose some weight, have more energy, sleep better, have clearer skin, build lean muscle. And once you find those 2 people that are even remotely interested, get them on a call with us, and let us chat to them for you and help them get on board. And then you can listen in on the calls that we're making, so you can learn what we're doing.
Exactly.
So then if you want to keep sharing, then you can keep sharing. So that's sort of where we've made the move. So I think initially people are scared that they have to know everything themselves.
Yep.
And they feel that they've got to try and explain everything, and then too much talking just undoes everything. So to get someone on a call that is seen as an expert, and get the people enrolled for them. I think that's where the biggest shift has been for us.
I think a lot of people can probably relate to that when they're just starting, because 80% of people start with the products. They don't know, they're not nutritional experts, they don't know anything about it. So just to be able to handball onto a phone call and then listen and learn that way, and get the same end result by helping people get started, I think that takes a lot of the stress away of feeling like they need to know everything. So that's awesome, Tennille. Thanks for that. Lovies, up to you guys next. So what challenges did you find early days when you started, sharing the program? And then, again, what shifted in the last couple of months for you guys to go from zero to hero and really just start impacting a lot more people in a really short period of time?
Yeah, so basically starting from the start, Rhea and I went to Celebration before we tried the product. So we actually came back from that probably a little bit too excited. So our biggest hurdle at the start was knowing what we knew and trying to push that on to people. So we were so excited, we wanted to share it, and we probably, we scared them off more than anything, because we saw the vision because we'd been to events. So events are the best things in the world, but that comes later. But probably that was our biggest hurdle until we'd actually put the product into our body and could back up what we were trying to teach people. If people were not interested. So we were being authentic, but we didn't actually have the answers. So, yeah, people just freaked out a little.
And then probably more recently, you know, and it comes back to being a product of the product, but yeah, people have been sort of following our journey. So, you know, they say the art is in the follow-up, and yeah, it's so true, because we've been able to, you know, after 6 months, 8 months, 10 months time, go back to people who we approached in the beginning, and they're like, oh, so you're still, you know, using that food, and you're still on that journey. And we've been able to share with them how that's taken place, and just keep up that relationship and that connection going. Like, yeah, we might have scared a few people up in the start thinking that they would see what we saw, but then it was just a matter of continuing that friendship with people, and and that having that trust in the relationship has certainly helped, and that was our experience at the start too.
And what was the shift recently? What was the big shift that helped you guys sort of just kick into gear?
To be honest, there's been a few things, but for people listening, you might have heard get to know your why, or learn about your why. So that driving force within you, like that deep emotion within you about why you're doing what you're doing. And yeah, to be honest with you, like in the last couple of months, we've had a big change in family dynamic and some personal things going on. And rather than taking that and it being an overriding negative, we've used that as leverage to say, well, this is why we're doing what we're doing, so that we can spend time with each other and spend time with loved ones and family and friends, and to do the things that we love to do, because at the end of the day, life is actually too short. So everybody's will be slightly different, but I really urge people to ask, why are you doing this? Like, what does it actually mean to you? Because at the end of the day, when that will be an energy inside of you that then drives you to speak to different people and just to connect with them, and they'll feel that in you too. If it's coming from an authentic place within you, then people can feel that as well. So
yeah, that's awesome.
And another big shift for me was going back to the basics. So when Rhea and I first started enrolling people, we put in a lot of time with them. And then we obviously started growing, so we started sharing with a lot more people, and it sort of went out the window a little bit about putting in that quality time into people, because we started getting more interested in enrolling more people rather than keeping the guys on that we'd enrolled originally and helping them share. So, yeah, going right back to basics, a product experience, like Neil mentioned, is the key thing for people to want to share it. If they have a crappy experience, what's the stats? If one person has a bad experience, they tell 10. So, just going back to basics, and also leaning on the leaders as well, rather than we started thinking that we knew enough to be able to do it ourselves, and then we went back to basics with that as well, particularly with three-way calls. So getting people like yourself, Roz and Sayers and Tully, and even people outside of the team on calls that resonated with the people we wanted them to talk to. So that was a huge change for us, just using other guys to get on calls and, really using that example.
Epic, guys. And we'll respect people's time as well. We'll finish up with this last question for you, Tennille, but bringing it back to simplicity. So everyone has got a bit of an idea about your story and how you started. I think both of you, Tennille and the Lovies, you've only been in this for about 12 months, right? Or I think Tennille's maybe 8 months and Lovies, you're just under 12. So bring it back to someone in the group who just wants to share the program with a couple of buddies. They started for the health. They want to impact the health and get a rebate off the cost of their program. What are two really simple things that you could share with them from what you know now to help them just achieve that?
Okay. probably similar to what I said before, was just if they're just wanting to share to get that rebate, just having a think. Not thinking that they have to know everything. Just thinking of those couple of people that they know, and then can flip through to a leader. Or three-way calls always amazing. So I did the same as what the Loves did at the start. I was really excited and went and pretended to know everything and got overly excited and just scared everybody off with my enthusiasm. Yeah. So I wouldn't recommend necessarily doing that. But just, keeping it really, really simple. I've started this amazing nutritional cleansing program. I'm really excited. I'd love you to do it with me. Trying to get people on board from that first week or so that you've signed up to give it a go. Because your success is going to be higher probably when you're cleansing with friends or cleansing with people that you know. You can support each other. And just, in those early days, just trying to get people to do it with you, and reach out, use them as a support, and that way they're probably more likely to go, well, hey, you don't know, you're brand new to it as well. I'm happy to hear more about it from somebody that's been doing it longer. So they'll be more open to chatting to somebody about it as well. I know probably one of the biggest things that I hear my people say is my friends want to hear my results first. They want to see my results before they're willing to give it a go. And I'll always just come back with, it's got a 30-day money-back guarantee. Do it together, support each other. If you both don't like it, if they don't have the success, we'll send it back. So that no risk, do it together, friends, family, is probably the biggest people that you'll get in your first 30 days to give it a go with. You people who trust you. And then go from there. So that's sort of how we do it.
Cool. So like a commitment to do the program properly. Tell them about the rebate straight away. Connect them up with the leader so that they can do the who do you know and get someone else to talk about it so they don't have to feel like they're an expert. And then just talk about it in a way that you get to do it with somebody and then you guys can do it together. And worst case scenario, you can get your money back at the end of the month. I think there's 4 pretty simple takeaways for the average punter who just wants to do the health and share it with a couple of people. So thanks for that, Tennille.
No worries.
Last one, Lovies. Just adding on that, it might be exactly the same, but say you got a new punter, someone that just wants to come in for their health, they want to get a rebate in their program with us, or they might just want to help someone. What would be the first 2 things or the two gems of information you could give them to just share the program authentically?
Yeah, so remembering that it's about the person that they actually want to share it with. It's not about them. So making sure that you teach them how to get in touch with their friend or family's wife. So completely scrub that you want it for them, because that's probably somewhere where we went wrong as well. We're like, this would be so good for you. And they're like, well, how do you know what I want? So making sure you get in touch, which is the Jackson Par 7 questions to their why has been the biggest winner for us. Teach everybody that, send them the PDF, write them down, have them everywhere, and then, really, really try and figure out why somebody would benefit from it.
Yeah, so that's, so on that draws, the platinum calls have been awesome. Like, they're fantastic. So highly recommend. That one was from the 7th of December, I believe, last year. If people want to listen to that. And the other thing is just encouraging them to even put up a post and just say that they're excited about getting on board with an awesome crew. Starting a health kick. And just owning it and seeing who else, because they'll never know otherwise unless they put it out there. And then just having that posture to be able to contact a few people, like their list of 10, and just say, hey, this is what I'm up to. It would be awesome for fun and accountability if we did it together. And that's where we lead into them, linking them up with us on Facebook or on a call.
Epic. All right. So I think we got 20 minutes of chatting about how the average person can share this with people they care about and do it in an authentic way and do it in a way where they don't feel like they need to be an expert. So just want to thank you, Lovies. I know you're full driving somewhere at the moment, so you're doing this from your car. And Tennille's been cleaning her house, being a busy mum. She's had the day off. So I really appreciate you taking the time to share this with the group. Because I reached out to you guys because you've done so well recently, and you're perfect for answering this question. So from me to you, thank you.
Our pleasure. Thanks, guys.
See you.